So last Friday, I covered a whole bunch of Warlock updates, and that was a sneak peek of the preview of what is to come in the next following update. Now that is not the only thing that's going to happen. We only noticed those Warlock changes because somebody was messing around on the previous server and realized some things had changed. Thanks to Carlos for that, noticing them on the Warlock. However, there has been confirmed there's a whole bunch of other changes coming to a bunch of different classes. A lot of quality of life improvements. This comes with the word from the executive producer, Brett Norton himself, via the Discord server. So let's cover them. Keep in mind, this is an incomplete preview of the patch notes that are here, but we will be getting the ability to get some mid-tier gear through Abyssal Hunts. I'll do some testing and see what we can actually get. Castle Ravenloft, finally the Pools of Decay will be shown properly during the fight, and this fix may address some other issues with like floating or offset problems with visual effects in various other dungeons. With Pinatas, they've put the cooldown down to 10 seconds instead of 15. Excellent. To confirm, we can see, yes, 10 seconds now. However, now we jump into the juicy class changes. You have the Bard. His inspiration daily power will now affect nearby allies, not just party members, but prioritizing players, and the heal magnitude's gone up to 400. The Bard Minstrel, the Warding Carol, that's their cleanse ability, will no longer cost an extra 100 performance after playing. Very good. The Ranger is going to be delighted to note that their aim shot will now generate action points, same scaling as other at-wills, so they'll actually be able to properly get their daily power for the artifact call. Hindering Strike no longer will go on cooldown without activating under some circumstances. Sometimes you'd cast it and it wouldn't do any damage. And it's now considered an area of effect attack, same as Rain of Swords and also Steel Breeze. All area of effect attacks, I assume you can trigger like Grace and Vistani with that. The Barbarian, their Hidden Daggers is also now an area of effect. Their Mighty Leap and the Mightier Leap feat are now considered melee damage. Not So Fast is considered melee damage, same with Punishing Charge. And Bounding Slam is now an area of effect attack. There's been an adjustment to the Mightier Leap feat. The tooltip has been updated to reflect the actual magnitude of Mightier Leap, which is 780, not 600. So it actually deals a bit more damage than what you may have thought it dealt via that feat. Additionally, with the Cleric then, we have Anointed Army, can now target up to 10 players. So this will be good for a trial then. But it's still situational whether you want to use that instead of Guardian Life or Hollowed Ground. I don't really see it as all too great, but at least it can affect the entire trial now. You could support them with the feat with 3% extra damage. I would like them to increase that to 5%, maybe even 10% damage with that feat, but so be it. Cleansing Light will now prioritize players over, I believe, other companions instead. Healing Word should now actually affect companions, but prioritize players. I want to check that. Let's go cast Healing Word, and it should. Yes, that is awesome. Clerics are going to be delighted with that. You can now competitively heal versus the Bard because you're going to be healing over time companions. Very good. And the Sigil of the Paladin, the artifact, will now prioritize players over companions. That's good to see because sometimes you were having people dying during White Noise or Superstorm because they weren't receiving the 15% extra damage reduction from the artifact and dying because their companion got that instead. Now, for the healer changes on the Warlock, most of them are already discovered. With Vampiric Embrace, the heal magnitude gone to 500, heal radius gone to 80, I actually didn't notice that. The damage magnitude gone down to 200. The Fey Pact feat, making it so that you'll get a 250 magnitude heal over time. The Hell Pact feat, granting an additional 50% Infernal Barrier, so effectively 250 magnitude. The heal can now apply to nearby friendlies, not just party members, but it will prefer players over like companions. And it will no longer cleanse. The Infernal Sanction at will has been updated so that it should be now more viable to shield a tank. It's been renamed to Infernal Sanction instead of Infernal Barrier, will now heal for 50 magnitude, and Infernal Barrier Shield is increased to 1000 and the cost increased to 80. So yeah, I think it's going to be, mainly you're going to use this on a tank and to save maybe 1 or 2 DPS if they really need it. It's kind of costly that you won't really want to spam it too much. The Soul Barrier daily, heal magnitude gone to 250, the Soul Siphon daily, the heal magnitude gone to 1500, and it will apply to nearby friendlies, so companions, but it will prefer players. And the radius gone up to 50 there. The tooltip has been fixed to state that the power only deals 600 magnitude. It was never intended to show higher, and for Soul Weavers it was always 600 even though it showed higher. Soul Storm can now heal like companions as well as players, but again preferring players. The Infernal Barrier and the Life Pact rework, basically some icons were updated to be unique. They will generate less threat overall, and the Infernal Barriers or shields are reworked to scale with incoming healing. Very good. The command Life Spark or Life Pact has been reworked, so that command Life Spark is renamed to Life Link, and Life Link and Life Pact can now channel a heal from the player to the life marked target directly, eliminating the reliance on your Life Spark pet. And that means the Life Link and Life Pack are not prevented when the Life Spark is dead, missing, or sacrificed to Warlock's Bargain. The Swift command feature is renamed to Flowing Link to fit Life Link renamed and theme, and the Revitalize will now cleanse, and the Soul Pact now affects 9 targets with the heal up from 4, and the heal magnitude increased to 800. Damage resistance is now applied to all nearby players, including the caster. That is all of the changes. Quite a lot there throughout. Some very nice additions there with a fix to the Rangers action point regeneration so they can properly have their daily powers for the artifact cause. The Cleric's Anointed Army now affecting 10 nearby allies with their healing word now actually be able to heal companions as well. And yeah, just those Warlock changes are huge. We'll have to see what kind of gear will now drop from those Abyssal Hunts. That's kind of interesting. And yeah, Pinata's gone down to 10 seconds instead of 15. Very nice, very nice. Keep in mind, however, this patch is unlikely to go live this week, as Brett Norton said this, so probably the week after. Fingers crossed. There is also a change coming to the Barbarian tank, which will somewhat fix their threat. Not fully, but at least this will help a little bit. The minimum magnitude will be now 200, I believe, instead of what it was at just 100. The maximum magnitude is actually being decreased down to 650, I believe, instead of 750. So reducing their maximum amount of threat, but increasing their minimum amount of threat, which is what they struggle with. Ultimately, some very good changes and fixes there. Hopefully we'll get a lot more of this moving forward. As you all know, there's a plethora of bugs throughout the entirety of Neverwinter. And yeah, there's always something more that people need fixing. All we can really do is make sure the devs are aware of it, and they'll prioritize to fix them when they see fit, whenever they can get enough development time to do so. A massive thank you again to all these channel members for their continued support, and we'll see you guys around. Goodbye for now.